Welcome back to the White Time channel. Today, Beth Gibbons, Lives Outgrown, No Wheel. This is my pick though. So, yeah, this is a new release. Came out a couple weeks ago. Just thought we'd do it on the channel. I was gonna listen to it on my own time, and I'm like, wait a minute, we just did Portishead. This is a singer-songwriter folk record, so I'm like, why don't we just do it on the channel?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We don't really have too much background with this. We just did Dummy like 3 or 4 months ago, so you can see our reaction to that on the channel if you're interested. But yeah, I was a huge fan of that record, especially the vocals. So when I heard she had a singer songwriter and folk record, I was like, this is going to be fantastic. I've seen a lot of great things, and I think this is her second solo record. I think her first one came out in like 2002 or something. So
Okay.
yeah, bit of a time difference. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got 10 tracks, 45 minutes. Should be a pretty good listen. I don't know if we have anything else to add. I feel like there's not a lot of context for this one.
No, I know. I think of Beth Gibbons stuff, the only thing I know her from is that Kendrick song.
Mm-hmm.
I have not gone back to that Portishead record since we did the reaction. So I don't even remember what she sounds like really. So
Okay.
I'm ready for a surprise, I guess.
Great. Yeah, I think we can just jump in then. We'll have a wheel potentially. No, I don't think we will at the end of the video, but we'll tell you what we're doing next at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, we can just jump in. First track, Tell Me Who You Are Today.
I could change the way I feel if I could make my body heal. Free from all I hear inside. Overflowed from my hand, pagan sorrow my command. Tell me all you want to say. Tell me who you are today. Free from all I hear inside. Come over here. Please enter me.
Tell Me Who You Are Today.
That was a pretty good start. I remember Portishead now. They're the ones that are super dark and brooding.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like kind of surprised because like I saw like new folk singer
Mm-hmm.
songwriter and like this is not at all like a typical folk sound. I feel like a lot of folk, at least the stuff we listen to, is full of like lush instrumentations, very bright and pretty. This is, but it's also like sad,
Mm-hmm.
or at least it sounds dark and foreboding, kind of an evil sound, which I think is kind of unique to bring to the folk space. So
It's a
yeah,
bit
I'm more
saturated right
interested
now.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more interested in this now, knowing the sound of it because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, this is different, and I'm into it.
Yeah, that was really fun. I was like wondering how she was going to tackle this because like only having listened to Dummy, I'm like, the atmosphere they create on that record is really cool, and I'm glad that we're getting some form of that here. I love the deep tones on the guitar. It's so cool. Just filling out that low end, you can hear the finger plucked still as it goes through. It reminded me of like really old, like Norwegian Viking kind of folk tale vibes, or
Yeah.
something that could be in like a fantasy game, which was really cool. I think her voice is fantastic as well. The way she's like floating these harmonies in the different channels as she's singing these lines is really cool. But yeah, the vibe of it is fantastic. So I'm in.
Yeah.
All right, Floating on a Moment, track 2.
Left behind. I'm floating on a moment, don't know how long. No one knows, no one can stay without control. I'm heading toward a boundary that divides us, reminds us, traveling, all going to nowhere, all going, making no mistake. Not that I don't want to return. Not that I don't want to return. Honestly, it's not that I don't want to return. All we have is here and now. It just reminds us.
Floating on a Moment.
I don't understand why you would make that song. I kind of had this like realization right at the end where I'm like, the children's choir is doing the refrain of all going to nowhere. That seems kind of fucked up. It's like having children just being like, after we die, nothing happens, and it's this void. I'm like, oh wow, okay. But I liked it. I thought it was a really nice sound. It's kind of weird, that whole outro feels so triumphant while the words are so nihilistic and like bleak. It's like it's really interesting contradiction, but wow, I really like the sound of it. That was great.
Yeah, that was gorgeous. Man, the sound palette already is crazy. I feel like the space, as we were talking about, like is pretty saturated right now.
Yeah.
And kind of like taking it to this like kind of center left direction of like adding these different elements is really cool. The build on this track was fantastic. I love the little vibraphone hits that we got going on here. The arpeggiated guitars. I feel like it's on a different time signature than the bass. It was like falling over itself. I'm like, what is happening here? And then the outro hits and everything just like connects together in this like fantastic build. But yeah, I'm like very iffy on children's choirs. I feel like it was used pretty well here. I feel like people use them a lot in spaces that they don't need to be used, but I feel like this kind of like slightly eerie track, but at the same time just absolutely gorgeous, kind of like siren songy like vibe of it. It just works really well. And her voice is still incredible. Like it's a bit softer than we heard on Dummy, but like the power of it is still definitely there. So that one was great.
Yeah, I think I'll defend the children's choir. I know I just said it was fucked up, but I think it's like a really nice image of like the contrast between, well, this whole track is about the end of life. Having a children's choir that symbolizes the beginning of life. It's kind of this image of all of age, you know. It's interesting, but yeah, I'm with you. I don't like children's choirs and most everything, but I thought it
Except
was
on this
used very
song.
well here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Track 3, Burden of Life.
Said I'd never rile the burden of life, just won't leave us alone, and the time's never right when you're trading the sun. Burden of life. So all the fight, the fear, the why, the wisdom why you want it now, when you're losing a soul.
Burden of Life.
Oh man. I don't even know what to say about that. That is like so sad. Almost like suicidal. That's rough. It's rough to listen to. In the best way. I think it's really well done, but man, that is tough. I don't know.
Oh man, that was great. I love the percussion on that track, especially those hand drums, or just like the big, like huge sound you get at the beginning is really cool. The textures in this album so far are great. The dissonant strings on here are really nice as well. Definitely getting like more like older Tom York vibes from like this stuff. Just like very Moonshaped Pool-esque in the way that it's like kind of grand and like there's string sections and orchestras, but it's like also kind of like barren and loose. I'm loving that vibe. Yeah, vocally fantastic. The lyrics are rough. Like this whole record, I think the vibe she's making with these lyrics, just like it's an enchanting experience, but it's also like a very depressive, like innate feeling of death and all of these things. It's gorgeous music though, so it's a great contrast so far.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Lost Changes, track 4.
Change your heart instead of stare. Feel alive, hold your own. Forever ends, you will grow old. You're gonna be. Love changes things, changes heart, changes things. Hey, you over there, don't pretend you're unaware. Realize the tenderness, appreciate the sweet.
Lost Changes.
I have no idea what to think of that song. I was trying to like pick apart the lyrics. I'm like, what is she trying to say? What is going on here? So like it's structuring change and loss as like interchangeable. I'm like, what is I don't know. I don't know where she's coming from. Maybe that's a me thing, but that's what I was mostly focused on was like what's going on? What is she trying to say here? And maybe that's not going to happen on first listen. Um, but I think the song was really well done. I think more folk should incorporate string sections.
Hmm.
I think that's gone out of fashion and it shouldn't have. That's like that's like my favorite stuff in all of the albums they're featured in. It just creates this volume, great depth, and I think it benefited the song. But I'm gonna have to listen to it like 5 times to figure out what's going on because I'm stupid. So
Yeah,
that's me.
I could like not even pay attention to the lyrics that much because like the just sound of this is just so immaculate. Like we'll get a steel guitar and folk every once in a while, and it creates a really nice airy atmosphere. But like when you use a whole string section like that, it really just like elevates it. And I think a lot of people don't use it because it's probably really difficult to make it work well. Like this whole
Yeah.
track, the whole tension and release of it was perfectly executed. I think it's always like a make or break when a song does have strings and you have this build and it's like, okay, how are they going to resolve it in a way that doesn't feel like they just dropped it? But the way it built through that outro, just the gorgeous vocals on that, the harmonizations there, the string build up, the super amount of tension, and then that slow drop off was just amazing. Yeah, she is just like in her bag when it comes to the arrangements and everything of these tracks. They are so gorgeous. And it feels effortless, but I feel like a lot of this is so complex in the way that these songs are like moving. I'm like hearing time signature changes and things and certain things, and I'm like getting reminded of some Radiohead stuff again. But yeah, she feels like these are like deceptively simple sounding songs, but they're just executed flawlessly. So that was fantastic. I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, rewind, track 5. Listening to Swans or
Gone too far to rewind. Too far to rewind. Sweet Mother Nature, nothing is left. This goes on, and we all know what's coming. Gone too far. Too far to rewind.
rewind.
Oh, it's pretty good. I like that one quite a bit. I think it's funny. This is like the climate change song. And literally right before recording this, I listened to Fishing for Fishies,
Mm.
the whole album. So I'm already in that zone, so it was very apt timing. But yeah, I think that, musically having it be super chaotic and having the listener be a little bit unknown for what's going to come up next, whether it's going to be like crazy drum fills or like, weirdo transitions. I thought that that was a nice little symbolic move for us not knowing what's going to happen next. Um, and the song literally says it's out of control. So it was kind of on the nose, but very good, very well done. That one was a fun climate change song because most of them are either way too simple and on the nose with their observations, or are pretty nuanced like this one, and I liked it.
I need fishing for fishies, or I need this. Those are the two
Yeah,
modes I like when it
there's
comes
two
to
roads.
yeah. This is one of the best songs I've heard all year. Like, this is
Mm,
phenomenal. The arrangement on this track is so unbelievable. Like, I did not expect a full krautrock track to just like seep in the middle of this record. Um, very, very, very Swans influenced. I imagine that's where it's from because that was so on the nose, down to like the electric clarinet in the background.
mm.
Sounded phenomenal. The way it transitioned and got chaotic and then like smoothly went into the acoustic number was really, really fantastic. The energy on this track is fantastic. I think this is a great way to convey the message because it is very off kilter and like a little bit eerie. You don't know what's going to happen. You're going to fall off the cliff, or you're going to go into like a different time signature. What's going to happen here? But absolutely gorgeous. I think instrumentally this is the best track by a little bit of a margin.
Yeah.
I don't know, that I've had my mind blown on that track like multiple times, just the way that she was able to transition and get these like really chaotic sounding elements to just work so well. So that was fantastic.
Mhm. Yes.
Alrighty, reaching out, track 6.
You said you will. You said you won't. You can't tell if you don't. Holding on your own, reaching out, holding on. Like I need you. I need your love.
Reaching out.
That one was pretty good and fun. I don't know if I have a whole lot to say about it. I mean, I appreciate the brass. It's
Mm-hmm.
always nice. But I was like, oh, that it kind of works in the beginning. Like we kind of needed a little understated, you know, more simple song, and then it did kind of grow into something bigger. Like I kind of wanted a little bit of a change of pace because the last song, while very good, kind of left me reeling a bit. Um, so I think just kind of pacing wise, I'm like, I don't know if another big bombastic thing is needed right after the last big bombastic thing, but I did like it. I think on its own, it's a pretty good track. I'm just where I'm at right now. I'm like, I need a little break, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I love krautrock, so any of it anytime is gonna work for me, and I do really love that we kind of have these two tracks that kind of shifting the album. Here, I think this worked great with the trumpets and kind of this big band sound. I think it works well on this record. It's definitely a weird turn. I mean, again, I'm going to call on Moonshaped Pool because that record is very similar, where it is orchestral and spacey and a little bit acoustic, and then all of a sudden you get a krautrock track out of nowhere. So I'm going to draw a comparison to that again. But like, man, vocals are fantastic still. These transitions are immaculate. I love how punchy the drums are on this track, especially. Like, that is just phenomenal. Yeah, really good. I am just enjoying myself. Alrighty. We got Oceans, track 7.
Was tired of more, but I would dive in the ocean or look at the wall. 'Cause every time's taken, I'll never say food ovulation, but no, baby, me and my heart. But I'll dive into the ocean on the floor. I can hide from the answers. I'm lost in time.
Oceans.
I like that one quite a bit. I think that one's up there for me, maybe top 3. I think perfectly placed in the album. Going back to my pacing thing from last time, I was like, okay, a little bit of a change of pace. We can get back into the krautrock next if we want, but I feel like this is a nice little break from that, while not like sacrificing on quality. I loved the percussive elements in here. I think they were hand drums. Couldn't quite tell, but I thought that they brought a great energy to the track. And I think this is the most Tom York I've ever heard.
Yeah.
At least this one was like the most direct. I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of get it, especially in the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat, I was getting a little bit of Mitski. Like, oh, that's
I could
kind
see
of
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
But then it just turned into Radiohead. I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. So yeah, very, very nice.
Yeah, fantastic. I feel like I'm going to run out of things to say about this album because it is just like, it speaks for itself on just how gorgeous it is. Like, it is just a treat to listen to. I mean, the lyrics and the themes of this record are like obviously like huge in scope, and they're very personal too. So I appreciate that. Just the song being about like aging and like how the body changes and stuff like that. But I think especially that outro where the strings come in, you have these arpeggiated guitars and the hand drums in there are just like, it creates such a nice sound. Yeah, I think just, I mean, the mixing and production on this record too is just phenomenal. Everything just has so much space and clarity. You can hear the hand-picked guitars, you can hear the hand drums, you can hear all of these like beautiful string ensembles just perfectly. It just creates, I'm just having such a good time just like taking it in. I feel like this is going to take a lot of listens to understand lyrics, like more than a surface level first reaction. And just like, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of these things in this song that I'm not even noticing either because they just sound so detailed and full as well. But
Yeah.
fantastic.
Tune into the retrospective.
Yes, we should have one of those in a couple months. I don't know how far along we are on that, actually.
Maybe in a month.
I feel like we're halfway there at least.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, we'll have a lot of updated thoughts, I'm sure, on this one.
absolutely.
Yeah. My favorite Kendrick song, For Sale.
I was gonna make the same joke.
Cause the dreams are for
for sale.
That's my favorite song. I don't know if you saw that coming, but
Probably.
yeah, man, that was so good. First of all, that guitar pattern is crazy. Constantly doing the slides. I think there was a couple moments I noticed where it was just normal fretting, but man, just like that's so it sounds so cool. And it has pretty much everything I love, you know. You got crazy guitars, you got rich and great percussive elements, and then a really lovely string section. You got your backing vocals. This is just everything that I love in a folk song, and I don't even know if I would really categorize it as folk, but it is so good. So, yeah, big win for me.
Yeah, that was great. There was a 12-string guitar in this track, so I think that's what that was being done on. Because there was a lot of stuff going on with just that guitar part. I was expecting this to be like a more like put together acoustic like folk track, and then but all these songs pay off in these like huge like overarching string sections, so everything just sounds like it's its own moment, which is really great. But yeah, again, the progression on the track is fantastic. I love all the different percussion they're using. These builds are fantastic. The runs she's going on are great. Definitely back more into this more fantasy-esque sound that I'm going to call it, from the beginning of the record, which I love. That had kind of like this dirge in the percussion that was really kind of cool. And I think there's the song being a multitude of things, of like a relationship that should have ended and is still going. It could be late stage capitalism continuing to fall apart, just because of the forced sale mention. Yeah, I think the lyricism is just great though.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Beyond the Sun, track 9.
If I had known where I'd begun, if I had spoken of the world I once was, words that I'd noticed when we were apart, if I'd remembered a moment before, would
Beyond the Sun.
That was very nice. Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to run out of stuff to say because man, it just all these songs sound so great. Um, the lyrics are there's not a lot of them. It's mostly an instrumental track, but the ones that are there are very poignant and well done. And yeah, I don't know, they're just really well put together songs. I don't know what else to say. Just very nice.
Yeah, it's interesting because like it is so unique. You don't really hear a lot of this stuff, and the way she's blending these genres, I think, are just working out really well. I think the dynamic range of this record has been really phenomenal so far. I think the only thing I have against this track is like that backing vocal choir felt like it was a little bit like shoehorned into the mix. It feels way louder than everything else. But I think once we really get into that louder passage and the instrumental section hits, it fixes it for me. It was just like, whoa, that was a harsh transition into that. But really interesting track. I just, again, love these krautrock elements. I love the way the percussion is just doing all these great things, and that there's different percussion on like all these tracks. It keeps it new and fresh. And again, just like this kind of end of earth type vibe to this record. Everything just sounds so monumental and huge and impactful. And yeah, really well done. Alrighty, last track, Whispering Love. Whispering Love.
Whispering Love, I like that song. I'm not the biggest fan of it because of one element. I hated that flute that was going pretty much the entire time.
Coward.
I don't care. It was so annoying, and I just was like, man, everything about this song is like lush and beautiful, and then there's like this annoying bird that is like chirping in my face, and I'm like, get out of here, get out of here. There's violins and all this beautiful stuff going on. You're ruining this composition. Um, so that's my one gripe with it. And especially at the end when they got rid of it, they faded it out. I'm like, man, this song sounds way better now. So that's my opinion on it. But I did like the song. But as soon as I noticed it, it's kind of like that one King Gizzard song on Paper Mache
Oh, yeah,
Dream
the ding,
Balloon,
ding,
where if you
ding,
notice
ding.
it, ding, 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 ding. Once you notice it, you can't unhear it. And I'm like, I can't focus on anything else except for this flute. But that's probably just a me problem.
Yeah, because my favorite part of the track was the flute, so I think we're
Yeah, I
completely
figured.
No, yeah, that's a near perfect outro. That might be like my favorite song off the record. I love just like how brooding and like mysterious a lot of this record was, and then you just come out swinging with this just absolute gorgeous, airy, beautiful sounding outro. The way the instruments have time to breathe. I love the field recordings of just the birds and everything. The flute does a great job lifting the mix. The acoustic guitar is incredibly warm and carries the song forward. It just sounds so immaculate. Yeah, I think as a record as a whole, this is like definitely easily one of the best of this year, like without a question. I think this is only going to grow for me as I listen to it more because there is so much detail in a lot of these tracks and the writing on it that the couple of things I've caught have been really great. So I think especially with folk records, I love having the music kind of open up to me as I listen to it further, and lyrics just kind of make more sense as I live with the tracks more.
Sure.
But yeah, the variety here is fantastic. All the ideas pay off so well here. Like there's so many little experiments that just take it outside of the contemporary zone when it comes to folk or chamber in general. And yeah, it sounds like someone who is a veteran, who has done this for most of their life, coming together and just doing a really, really fantastic art piece of art. So yeah, incredible. I don't even know what my favorite tracks are. This whole thing was just a ride, start to finish. So fantastic.
Yeah, I would agree for the most part. I think that this album was very, very well done. Kind of came out of nowhere for me. And that like you basically said like last week, like, hey, this came out, we should do it. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that that existed. Um, but yeah, I mean, this year has already been so good in terms of music. We've even gotten another solo project from someone associated with a band that's also making a folk,
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Lenker.
Yep.
And it's like these are probably two of my
Yeah.
favorite albums that came out this year. Easily top three, at least on first listen. So yeah, very, very well done. But
I'm
that's it.
cleansed.
I'm cleansed. Very, very nice. But next week, we're not going to spin a wheel right now. Well, next week we are going to spin a wheel, but right now
Yeah,
we are
next
not
week we'll-
going to spin a wheel. We are going to be doing our second Bon Iver album, the self-titled.
Bon
So-
Iver, Bon Iver,
Exactly
Bon
right.
Iver.
So look forward to that. We're doing another folk album.
That one's more rock actually, so it will be a little bit
Oh, is
different
it?
than what we've been doing.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, stay tuned for that. Very excited to dive back into that thing. That self-titled was my first love when it came to Bon Iver, so I'm excited to like dive deep into it again for the first time in a couple of years. Yeah, I know people have been waiting on that, so we're gonna bring that back to you. That should be a pretty good one. And then we're gonna have a lot of new releases again. We've been doing a lot of new releases this year, but we got that No Worries album coming out beginning of June. We got Charlie in July. We got Porter Robinson end of July. And then whatever other surprises get kind of mixed in there. I am expecting a Kendrick album this
Claro.
year. Oh yeah, we have Claro in July as well. We'll be doing that on the channel for sure. Yeah, there's a lot coming out, and it's a lot of good stuff. So the wheel's been on
Yes.
hold a lot this year, but I think it's justified for a lot of these. I like
Yeah.
doing new releases and stuff. So yeah, a lot of fun though.
Absolutely. and we'll get Babjeb for some of those new releases too.
Yes.
I know for sure on Porter Robinson.
Probably
We'll
Claro
see.
too.
Oh, he does.
He's
like
the one
Claro.
that showed me Sling, so
So thank you, Babjeb.
yes.
So you have that to look forward to. But that's it
Yeah.
for this video. We have a podcast if you want to listen to it. Talking a lot about monkeys recently.
A lot of monkey
But
talk,
that's-
ape talk.
A lot of monkey talk. Last 2 episodes. So if you enjoy talking about monkeys or movies about monkeys, then tune in. Because that's what those episodes are about.
We just did a Baldur's Gate 3 review. So
Oh,
if
that
that's
too.
up your alley too. I know there's a lot of
That's
crossover
true.
between Beth Gibbons and Baldur's Gate 3.
Hey, all of these shut nerds that, love playing D&D, they also love experimental folk albums.
Yes. I know I do.
That's what I've always said.
Yeah. We're
Well,
trying
that's
to
true.
find our cross section on the internet, and that's what it is. But we also talk about
That's true.
all music on that podcast as well. So any new
Yes.
thing I listen to, we will talk about. So
Me too.
yes.
Yes. It's very good. Very, very good. I say so.
Me too. I also say